All right, well, we're going to look at order of operations today. We're going to check out how to find the value of expressions using the rules of order of operations. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you're going to call it finding the value or evaluating, but more or less that's what we're going to be looking at. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these problems, see how we do. I guess I'll begin with saying that when you're doing order of operations problems, we're going to be using what's called PEMDAS. And think of PEMDAS, we have parentheses, exponents, multiplying and dividing. They go together, whatever comes first from left to right. And then we have adding and subtracting. Again, whatever comes first from left to right, we do. So every problem, we're going to go through this process and ask ourselves, do I have this? Do I have this? Do I have this? So let me show you what I mean. So for problem number 1, we have 3 times 12 in parentheses minus 6. Now, I would begin by saying, is there anything in parentheses? And there is. There's 3 times 12. So I'm going to do that part first. I'm going to get 36. I'll bring down the rest. And now I'm down to subtraction, and I solve that, and I get 30. So this is about as simplistic as these order of operation problems go. Let's try our next one. So this one is a little bit more important as far as using the parentheses. See, number 1, the parentheses didn't really matter because multiplying comes before subtraction. So I would have had to multiply regardless. However, number 2, division happens before addition, but because I have parentheses, that means I do the parentheses first. So I'm going to add 4 plus 2. So I bring down the 36 divided by, and then 4 plus 2 is 6. Now I'm going to look at 36 divided by 6, and I get 6. This is my last operation. And that is all there is to this second problem. Again, these are more simplistic problems, just very simple, quick steps. Let's look at the next 3. They do get a little bit more complicated, but not too bad. So again, I'm going to go ahead and write down my PEMDAS, just to serve as a bit of a reminder that I need to follow those operations in that order. So I begin by asking myself, do I have any parentheses for number 3? I do. I have 15 minus 6. I'm doing that first. So I have 15 minus 6. That gets me 9. Divided by 3 plus 4. So I bring everything else down. Then I look, do I have any more parentheses? Nope. Do I have any exponents? No exponents. Do I have any multiplying or division? I do have division. So I'm going to divide next. 9 divided by 3 is 3 plus 4. And now I can add, and I get 7. And so that's how I would solve this third problem. All right, so for number 4, I first look to see, do we have any parentheses? We do not have any parentheses. Do we have any exponents? We do. So I'm going to do 5 to the second power, which is 25. I bring everything else down. All right, so now, do I have any multiplying or any division? And I do. I'm going to multiply. So I have 25 times 3, which is 75. I'll bring down the plus 4, and I bring down the times 5. It's an ugly looking 5, but we'll deal with it. Okay, do I have any more multiplying division? I do. It's right here, so I'll bring down the 75 plus the 20. I now can add these together, and I get 95. And I'm done. All right. Let's take a look at number 5. All right, so for number 5, do I have any parentheses? I do. Now, in the parentheses, I have to follow the order of operations within the parentheses. So I have 6 squared minus 6. I'm going to do these left to right. So 6 squared is 36. I have to do that before I subtract. So I'm going to have 36 minus 6 divided by 5 times 3. Now I have 36 minus 6, which is 30, divided by 5 times 3. 5 times 3, which is 15. So I have 30 divided by 15, and 30 divided by 15, which gives me 2. And that is the solution to this problem. All right? So let's go ahead and move on to our last set of problems. All right, so for number 6, we definitely are getting a little bit more complicated. Let me put my PEMDAS up. All right, so for number 6, look, do I have any parentheses? I do. So I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses, which is 5 minus 2, which gives me 3. So now I have 3, and that's to the 4th power. Bring everything down. Now I have to determine, do I have any other parentheses? I don't. So do I have any exponents? I do. I have 1 over here. So I have 3 to the 4th power. That's 3 times 3, which is 9. Then 3 times 3, which is 9. 9 times 9 is 81. Or you could do 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 is 81. Regardless, you get 81. Plus 6 times 5 minus 4 to the 2nd power. Do I have any more exponents? I do, right here. So I bring down the 81 plus 6 times 5 minus 4 to the 2nd power is 16. Now I need to decide, do I have any more exponents? No. Do I have multiplying and dividing? I do, right here, multiplying. So I have 81 plus 30 minus 16. Okay? Now, do I have any more multiplying or dividing? I don't. How about adding, subtracting? I do. It's right here. I add. So I'm going to get 101 minus 16. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the last part here. I'm going to subtract. Now, maybe you could do this in your head, maybe not. I think of 100 minus 15 gets me, I made a mistake here. I just noticed. This is not 101. This should really be 111, right? Just notice that. That's okay. We make mistakes sometimes. It's all right. So I'm going to do 111 minus 16. So I think, what if I had 110 minus 15? That'd get me 95. So I add 1 to both of them. It's still 95. Worst case scenario, you could always do the problem 111 minus 16 to the side. And this becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. Strike that. That means this becomes an 11. Sorry about that. And we get a 5. And 10 minus 1 is 9. We get our 95. You do it that way. All right, let's look at our last problem here on this page. Then we have one more to do after this. So we have 6 squared minus 3 parentheses 5 ninths plus 16 ninths. Don't freak out over the fractions. It's not as bad as you think. So let's go ahead and try this out. I'm going to do my parentheses first. So I'm going to bring down my 6 squared minus 3. You notice the 3 is up against the parentheses. I'm going to write a little times sign, or times sign. It means multiply. When you have a number up against parentheses, it means multiply. And then I have 5 ninths plus 16 ninths. So that is 21 ninths. So times 21 ninths. So I'm going to then do my exponent. So I have 6 squared, which is 36. That's minus 3 times 21 over 9, which is the same thing as 3 over 1, right? So now I'm going to have to multiply. Now this is something that you haven't done for a while. We have to do fractions here. And so when I multiply, I'm going to have my 3 and my 9 simplify, this becomes a 1, this becomes a 3, and I have 36, which comes down, minus 21 over 3. That means 21 divided by 3, which is 7, right? So it's really 36 minus 7. I do this, and I get 29. All right, this problem was a little tougher. Hopefully that made sense to you. Again, 21 over 7, that means 21 divided by, oh, I'm sorry. Man, I'm having a really rough time with this. Let's try this again. 21 over 3, that means the same thing as 21 divided by 3. So that's why we get 7 here. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and try our next problem. All right, so this is our final problem on this video. Apologize, it's a little bit longer, but we got a lot to cover. So we have, I'm going to go ahead and write my PEMDAS. Okay, so I have 3 to the third power, and then minus 4 times 3 plus 5 over 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do everything on top the numerator section first, and then see if I can divide by 4. Okay, so order of operations, I have parentheses, but the 4 times 3, that just means multiplying. It doesn't mean there's, you only do that if there's an operation within the parentheses. So I'm going to do the exponent first. So I have 3 to the third power, which is 3 times 3, 9 times 3 is 27. So I have 27 minus 4 times 3 plus 5 all over 4. Okay, I'm going to do 4 times 3 now. So I have 27 minus 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 5 all over 4. And then I'm going to do the subtracting. So 27 minus 12 gives me 15, plus 5 all over 4. And then finally I get 20, so 15 plus 5 is 20, 20 over 4, which if I divide, remember fractions mean division, 20 divided by 4 equals 5. And there you have it. That's how you would solve these various types of order of operation problems. Hope this is helpful. Please continue to like and to follow and to subscribe, and to make sure that you click the little bell so you can see when we have new videos that are being made. Okay? Have a great day.